Okay, we're back. Now, we're going to check the width of our parallels. This is important that you check these just to make sure that they're both the same size. Actually, to tell you the truth, I never actually checked these parallels. I want to just make sure of that before I do anything here, just to see. Okay, that looks pretty straight. That one, let's see if this one's the same height. 21.5, that's the same as the other one. 21.5, okay. They're both the same height, very close, so that's good. If we really wanted to be sure of things, which I guess we should be, we would check the spindle, the vise, which doesn't, so I'm gonna do that here just to be sure. I'm gonna put this like this. I'm gonna check the base of this vise down here to see what I'm gonna move the indicator more like this so we can get closer up to where we're setting with the parallel. See if I can do this, not hitting the, well, let's do it this way. See, these indicators have this deal on them and they kind of get in the way sometimes, but I like it because you can at least see it, you know. You don't have to. I'll move the camera over this way so you can see the indicator. Zero the dial here. Oh, I was sitting on some shaving there. I zero it right here. Good enough. Okay. We should be able to rotate this spindle here. It should be fairly, you should be able to rotate this. It should be parallel. Let's go over here. Not perfect, but it's not too bad. Let's go across this side. I'll rotate the indicator back this way. I'm going to move you over this way so you can see it better. Here. Back on it. Go back and forth this way. Okay, probably within a half a thousandth. Their parts sitting about right here are parallel on the back side. Like I say, you can see a little bit of rise in that vise. If we turn this thing around, you know, nothing's perfect in the machining world. So this is the way things are. Go back this way. Okay, so I verified that that's reasonably level to the machine's table. I mean, it's not perfect, but okay. I'm going to close this up again. Watch your ears here. Get it close. See, the reason I have to do this, let me And I don't particularly like this coolant thing on this machine. Let me show you what it does here. If I can do that. See, whoop. This I grab the wrench. You can't turn the wrench. You can't turn it more than 180 degrees with all this sheet metal in the way. Kind of inconvenient. So I got to use that impact wrench or something to move it fast. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing here. Okay, make sure everything is clean. I think part of machining is, a big part of machining is cleaning stuff off, it seems like. It always seems to be cleaning things. Okay, we're gonna put this parallel in here. When you put parallels in the vise, see there's even still shavings in there. You put parallels in the vise, you should start them off on the edge. You know, I see people just drop them in there and they shove them up against there. But, you know, you can have stuff underneath there. I always like to start them on one side and slide them, kind of hold them down and slide them in there. And that way it kind of shoves any shavings. So you start it like, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Start it like this and I just kind of shove it in from the side. I don't know, that might just be me, but I just like to do that because if there's any crud in between there, theoretically it'll push it out of there in front of the parallel. Make sure your part's clean. The best way to do this a lot of times just to wipe it off with your hands. Towels and stuff leave lint on there and things. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the vise. I'm going to snug it down a little bit, and then we're going to take a dead blow hammer and, I don't know if you can see me here, yeah, and tap it down. Check the parallels. Make sure they're tight. I want to tighten it a little bit more. Sometimes that can kick your parallels up again. Tap it down. Now, what you want to make sure is that those parallels are tight under there. You can't move them. It's important. Okay, now I'm going to have to reprobe this thing a little bit. So let's change back to the spindle probe. So that's tool 10 in this case. Hammer came pretty close to that tool changer that time. Okay, so I'm going to position this so you can kind of see what's happening here. And all we're going to do is do the X. We're going to do the X and the Z. We're going to do the Y a different way because we got to make sure. I mean, I could probably probe it maybe like down here across the jaw of the vise. Let's see if we can see that here. You know, in here like this, but I'm going to actually set up an indicator and indicate both these sides in a certain way. I'll show you how to do that. And I think that'll be a little more precise than, I mean, well, the probe would be pretty precise, but I want to indicate right on the part instead of the jaws of the vise. So let's set this, and we're going to go over here to our cycles. I'm going to delete the Y one here. I don't need it. Okay. And then we're going to set the X and the Z right now on this thing. So we're going to run the same exact program, and it should machine the part the exact same width, assuming we get it centered accurately, which we're going to try to do with the indicator. So let's go here to the offset page to watch this, just to make sure we do the right thing. And cycle start, and we should be going. The X-axis. It's not that critical, really. We got clearance on the program for this, but we just got to set it something. Okay, that worked. And then the Z should go straight down. Good. There you go. Set the Z. And I'm going to set the minus 0.020 like we did before on the Z. Okay. Now, let me go back, move this back a little ways. I'll do this so you can kind of get an eyeball of the tool change maybe. And we're going to go tool 3. I'm going to be in the right mode here. Tool 3. we doing here? P3. Yeah. Okay, I'm just sending it to a blind tool right, or an empty tool pot right now. So we're going to see how we're going to do this. We're going to figure this out here. I'm going to stick a different dial indicator on here, and I don't have that ready. So let me go get it and get it ready. Okay, we're back. What we're going to do to set this Y0 is we got this indicator set, and see it comes to 0 when we swing the spindle. We're using this kind of like a glorified edge finder, if you will. And what we're going to do is we're going to zero out the y-axis at this point here, and then we're going to jog the machine. If we can do this without, see, I should be careful. Can't rotate this too much. Let me redo that, because it hits the vice jaw right here. It's very close to the vice jaw. So I'm gonna re-zero it there. And then I'm gonna back this thing away from here so we don't run into anything. And we're gonna come around to the other side of the part. As long as we don't move any of this, we should, we're just gonna, this is just gonna be like a reference dimension, and the distance that should be measuring a diameter with our dial indicator, and we should be able to, well, you can't see the indicator now, can you? Maybe I can, I don't know, let's see. Maybe like this. Kind of dark over here, but I guess you can, maybe you could see it. Okay, so we're going to come on this side of the part, this, get over here towards the middle, and then we'll come back in. We just touch slowly, because I can't see what I'm doing either. Okay, I'm going to rock this spindle around a little bit. We're going to, on a slower jog rate, I'm going to rock the spindle back and forth. Get it right on the 0 there. I guess, I don't know if you could see that or not. Maybe if there's too much glare here or something. Hopefully you can see that. Hard for me to tell. And then we're going to calculate, if I can find my calculator, I'm going to calculate our distance here, which says we move 2 point. We got to go down here to our fixture. So we moved 3.0034 inches. So we got 3.0034 divided by 2. So we've got to add 1.5017 under our offset to move in the positive direction in Y. It's 1.5017. Input, yes, we want to do it. So now should be 1.5017. Now let's check it back on the other side just to make sure, because this has to be precise. So I'm gonna move out away. I'm gonna come back over here. I'm gonna move you back around here, so that when we turn this thing around, without trying to bump anything. We're going to be able to indicate the other side here. It seems like a lot of work. You could swing the in between the jaws with the dial indicator. I'm doing it this way just because I'm trying to see how close I could get this thing. Yeah, it's probably a little bit overkill, but you know, what the heck. Okay, almost hitting it. Now, I want to swing this thing hopefully we're reading the same number. 5019 we're reading on this side. Okay, so I'm going to go minus .0001. Change it to tenth. 5018. 5018 on this side. Looks pretty good. See, as long as you don't move any of this indicator here or anything, you can actually use this style of indication for I'm going to go check it on the other side just one more time. Like I say, measure twice and only cut it once, right? So let's turn this thing back around without trying to hit anything. Go back over here. And let's see if I can get you on the other side here a little better so you can maybe see this thing. I don't know. My battery's almost dead on this GoPro camera. I don't think that's that great. Let's see. No. Let me get it over here more. Maybe. I can adjust this no-go thing somehow. And let me jog this thing. And let's see if we can get the same reading on this side again. Just to be sure. Hopefully my battery doesn't run out before we get this done. Okay. Not too bad. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that's good. It's exactly the same. So, let me get out of the way here. Now we should be good to go for running the program. I'm moving this back around. Sorry. And I think I'm going to change the battery out. Okay, we're ready to go here, I think. Run the other side. So let's go memory. We're going to run the same exact program. Squirt some WD-40 on it. And if we got everything set correctly, should be good. Okay, face the top off, squirt a little WD-40 on there. Pretty good finish. Coming at the 1/2 inch end mill. If we set the Y0 correctly, We should be machining these sides directly above the other ones. That's the plan anyway. Squirt some juice on the back there. Okay. Now I'm going to rerun the whole thing just like I did before. I set it down. I mean, you could do this. Set it down 2 more thousandths in Z and rerun it. You could, you know, if you're doing this on a manual machine, it's basically the same thing. You just got to move one side or the other of your Y0 point, and you machine that. You machine it until you get the width just right. I mean, I'm just facing this off again. This probably isn't necessary, but I'm kind of curious to see how square I could get this, like this. I mean, if you have a, you know, if you have a part and you got to hold squareness, be able to easily hold it within 1/1000th of an inch. Let's see if I could get a little closer. Maybe. We'll see. I haven't as of yet got a good way to check this. I ordered an angle plate from Stanbridge granite, but it won't show up for a little while. And I've got a design. I'm going to build an indicator base to check squareness. I've got one of these Mitutoyo height gauge deals at the shop, but I don't want to bring it over here. That's, you know, with the computer on it and everything. I'd like to have something over here. I'm going to rerun the end mill again just to get any push off out of there like we did before. I'm going to mic it after that. Doesn't look like it's cutting anything though, does it? It is. It's hard to tell. Let me adjust it a little bit. Yeah. Okay, we come out. I'm going to move the camera a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm going to blow this off a little bit. I'm going to get the micrometer that we used before, just so we know there's a measuring the same thing. And we'll measure the width of this, and hopefully it's the same size, if this machine is that accurate. Should be. Looks pretty good. It looks right on 1 7/8 inches. So we should be good to go on the sides now. If I deburr this a little bit with the file. Okay. Blow things off. Now, take this out. Now, theoretically, if I did everything right, that face should be right in a line with this face, so that when I set this down on the parallels this way and face it, that everything should be square. Go ahead and do that. Let me see. So I've got to clean all this mess out again. It's the life of a machinist, cleaning stuff off. Seems like that's half the job, just keeping stuff clean. So Wipe off the parallels, put them in here. Put everything off here, put it in. Now, the part. It shouldn't matter which side I've picked, so I'm just going to pick one of the sides here. Got to open the vise up a little bit more. Okay. Let's set the part on here, snug it up a little bit. And we'll hit it down with the dead blow hammer. Make sure the parallels are tight. Tighten it just a little bit more. Hit it down. Okay. Now, we're gonna set our part 0 again. We should be able to just run the facing cut only on the program to cut off this face, right? So first we got to set our part 0, G65, P9023, S1, A 4 point, Y 2.0, Z minus 0.5, and a block. Okay. I'm going to put an MOO between each one of these lines on my little MDI here, just so I can reposition the machine for this purpose. So let's change to the spindle probe. So we're going to go tool 10. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, I'm going to get you kind of where you can see here. And then we're going to go down. Oh, shoot. Pushed the wrong button there. This machine, I mean, I run different machines and I get used to one, and then I come to a different one, and then I push the wrong buttons all the time. Okay, so we're gonna set our X and our Y first, and then we're gonna move over and set the Z on one of these faces. There. So, get our MDI. And we're gonna do the X first. I'll look at my offset page here. This spindle probe sure is nice. It saves a lot of time of edge finding and everything. Okay, so that's our X. And then set our Y I got next in the program. Set that. Okay, now I put a MDI here, a MOO in my program. I can, if I get it in the right mode here, I could jog it over here, and I'll set my Z0 there. Okay, let's go back to program. Put the Z0 right there. Okay, that should be it. Now on my other program, I have an optional stop on the program, so if I just enable optional stop, it'll stop if I put it into memory first, it'll stop on the face mill, right at the end of the face mill. We should be good. I'm not going to set it down at all right now. Just see, spray a little WD-40 on there. Let's just see what happens as far as how it cleans up both sides. If that works at all. You can see the tool change there. Okay. And down. it just didn't quite, it just barely grazed it. I got both sides pretty close. So I'm going to set it down. Let's set it down minus 0.001. Let's see what that does. Take another 1,000th of an inch off the top. See if it cleans up those areas. I'm going to reset. Okay. See, so it's cleaning them off, so we know we're at least within a half, or within 1,000 for sure. I gotta put some juice on there. With a little crud there. And Scotch-Brite to take it off. Okay. So, let's reset that. And I'm gonna get a little Scotch-Brite and hit that because got the little things on there. Just to clean it off, make sure when we flip it over, it's clean. Actually, the sides are pretty well deburred because I didn't take anything off of there. I'm gonna do it again. Make sure it couldn't hurt. And I'm going to take this out, and there again, get back to cleaning everything off again. Okay, I'm going to wipe this off. Right now we can tell, possibly, with the square, let's see if we can see anything. I mean, hard to tell with this. You can't see the light behind it, but it should be pretty square right now to this face. I mean, you can see that I got the these flats on the other side less than 1,000th of an inch to each other because it only took 1,000th of an inch to clean them off. So let's put it the other way. First we got to clean all this mess off. Blow it off a little bit. Hope that's not too noisy. Wipe these parallels off. Make sure we don't have any crud in here. And there again, we wipe these things in here to make sure that they, you know, maybe no shavings or anything or little bits of material get underneath them. Put the part back in. Where's our part? Here. Make sure everything is nice and clean. Go back in this way. And we're going to have to reprobe the x-axis. Everything else should be pretty close. We're going to knock it down a little bit. Make sure our parallels are tight. They are. Snug it a little more. Parallel's good and tight. Okay, let's change to tool 10 again. Make sure nothing hits this camera when it does that. And we're just gonna do the X because that's all we need right now. We're not even gonna change the Z at all. First cut just to see what happens. Okay, get it approximately in the center. Go to our MDI page and offset. Run the probing cycle. Okay, and that's it. Now I'm going to move this back a little bit for right now until we make our tool change. We're going to go to memory and we're going to run the face mill again. repositioning a little closer here. See what's happening. Here we go. Face it off. Now it just, I don't know if you can see it here, but see I just barely didn't quite clean off that milling cut right here. See it? Just almost didn't even touch the part there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to set this down. I'm just going to set it down a 1/2,000. I guess that was a 1/2,000. Hope so. And then we're going to rerun it again. Now see, it's cleaning it off. Just a 1/2,000th of an inch. Clean the whole face. Well, that's doing pretty good. This the inserts must be kind of dull on this face mill. Do them little deals on there. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna Scotch-Brite this off a little bit here. See where we're at. And we're gonna file the burrs off a little. Okay. Man, it's not my calculator on the floor. Okay. Now, that should be it. I gotta pick my calculator up. Oh man. Got too much junk on the bench here. You can't see it, but this place is really small in here, and I got a bunch of junk in here. So, that should be pretty darn square. I don't know if you know, I guess it was pretty obvious how all that was done. I really, I mean, even with a square like this, if I had light behind there, you could see 1/10 of a 1,000th of an inch. You know, you could see the light behind it. I can't see any gap. I'm kind of curious to see how square I got this, but unfortunately, I don't totally have the equipment to measure it right at the moment here. Might have to wait to another video here. We'll see. Let's see if I can figure something out. So let me get back with you on that.